Well, first of all, let's say hi to Luca and thank him because it's mandatory, obviously, for having accepted our invitation. We're super happy to have him open these conferences, which are dedicated to design, which are part of these conferences that you all know, which is SPD Talks, which is done together by Silvia Getty and I in terms of graphics and communication. Well, the pleasure that we have is to open up these three series of talks in the world of industrial design, seen by different designers with different openings, different mind styles, and different ways to face the problems of doing design nowadays. Well, Luca Nichetto is a designer who probably doesn't really need a lot of introduction and doesn't need me. It's 10 years that he works. He has his own well-structured studio. I think around 6 years. This in Venice. It's a while that he goes back and forth with Sweden as well. And he will tell us about this choice of having a studio there as well. And therefore, he's a designer that he's in between two countries nowadays, and he also lives two different territories. I'm not saying with a different perception of design, but I must say that with different orientations, totally different on certain matters. We will try to understand this. Therefore, it's super interesting for us to understand the European scenario. Let's remain in Europe and not talk about the world, but definitely we will learn a lot about the European scenario. Well, I don't want to add anything more. He will start his presentation. I will try to dialogue with him with what he will show you, and therefore we will see the themes coming up throughout the conversation. So it says if he should auto-introduce himself. Thank you, Elle, and thank you very much. Should we turn off the lights? Yeah. Okay. Good evening to all. Well, today I want to tell you more or less an experience, my personal experience as a person, and then show you what is the origins of my project as a person, not only as a professional designer, and let you know and explain to you how I have tried to put hand in hand to my personal life, a professional life. How you can all see, I will show you a series of steps that I've gone through, also professionally, and they're always strictly linked to some personal experiences I've lived. Well, first of all, this picture portrays this small island, which is found right in front of Venice, and it's Murano. I was born there and grew up there. And this is exactly the origins of my project, because from there I was born, but also my work. My work originates exactly from there, because as a student, I go to the Art Institute there, and I've got the luck of meeting this person. It's my grandfather, and he was in fact a master glassmaker. And since I was very, very small and a child, I was super fascinated from these people that would come, like him. I have no clue who he is, but he would come to Murano and with some drawings, some projects, and then my grandfather would actually realize them. And I would ask him, what work do these people do? Well, they're called designers. And so, since I was 10 years old, I've always heard and had this curiosity of understanding, what is this professional figure? And from there, it was luck, probably talent, I don't know. I was drawing really well. My skills were very good. And I decided to enroll in the Art Institute in the section glass, because this was my objective, design glass. Well, from there, normally, during the summer, students of the Art Institute, we would actually prepare a folder with a series of different drawings, and we'd go around the island and go and ring every doorbell of the various glassmakers to sell this folder, basically. Because this was the only way of make some money to then go to the club and have fun and party or some vacation or something. And it was pretty easy to do that, right? Well, I continued going around this island also when I enrolled in university. And in one of these trips to the island, going back to Moroso, well, I met Simon Moore. And at the time, he was the art director of Salviati, one of the most important industries in the island of that time. And seeing my folder with all my drawings, my portfolio, well, he says, I buy everything. I was super happy. I mean, can you believe it? It was 1 month fun. But besides that, he tells me, but I will not produce any of this. And this, I don't know, shocked me. I mean, I was a bit surprised. And I want, in some way, ask you if you would like to come here and work. And I accept this challenge. I go to the glassmaker for 1 year, working there, and to the oven, basically. This is how it's called. And there I have the luck of meeting a lot of people who were going. Ross, Lovegrove, Ingo Maurer, Todd Bongi, Anita Poor, and many others. And as a student who I was studying these people, I'd see them. He would coming in with some models, another would come in with some sketches, another that had nothing. And I would see exactly how these people would relate and explain their ideas, how to realize their projects. And from there, I start designing. I start designing some objects in glass. And to design some objects in glass, sometimes you don't even need models rendering. You just need the idea and transfer this idea to the master glassmaker. Well, this is an example of how one of my ideas, I just simply sketch it on that table, which is called bronze, and then it's leveled with them. And on that bronzino, well, here I'm in Venini, and we were just joking, and on the same table Carlos Carpa was designing. Well, basically, these are phases of different processing of the manufacturing, and still nowadays, it's pretty familiar to me to take a look at these. I don't know, I get very impressed when I look at this because it's a strong emotion. This is the environment where I grew up and where I learned in some way to speak to these people who actually had to turn my ideas into reality. And in fact, this is one of the characteristics that best distinguishes my work. I always try to search for a relationship with the actual masters who work the matter and acquire information who can actually be very important to just a second, they need to change the microphone. It was cracking. An ice cream. I really needed it. Good? Well, can you all hear me? Therefore, these, I was telling you, these are the people that I was mentioning. Well, 2 days ago, they invited me in Abitare to have this lecture, this conference, and well, these are the true masters and the true teachers. These are the people who taught me the most.